Wayne Gretzky has some things to say about Caitlin Clark.
Look at Caitlin Clark, how she's just taken over the country, and for that matter, maybe the world, and how she's encouraged so many young girls now to participate in sports, whether it's basketball or soccer or volleyball. My dad used to always say, the greatest thing about sports is that you learn so much about real life. You learn how to be unselfish. You learn how to be dedicated. You learn how to work hard. You learn how to win. And then you learn how to pick yourself up off the ground when you lose. And that's what life is all about. And so I just have so much respect for so many of these athletes that come along now. And as a fan, I just love it.
Wayne Gretzky, yes, the great one, just shocked the entire sports world with what he said about Caitlin Clark. In a viral moment that's spreading like wildfire, the hockey legend stepped into the WNBA spotlight to praise a young phenom who's been under constant attack from critics, rivals, and even some media.
WNBA referees not making the right calls when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
But what Gretzky just did, it changes everything. Even with Caitlin sidelined, she's dominating headlines, driving ratings.
She is more famous than all of this generation's NBA stars.
And now, getting backed by icons from outside her sport.
She, and she alone, is driving the ratings way, way above.
The boom wasn't a WNBA boom. It was a Caitlin Clark.
Clark is the only driver of your business.
And that has her haters scrambling. If you believe Caitlin Clark deserves every bit of this respect, drop CC 100% in the comments right now to show your love and support. Let's make sure the world knows we see her greatness.
She is the most well-known basketball player.
Caitlin Clark has decorum, professionalism. She plays hard, she works hard, she shoots well, she can shoot, she can dribble, she can pass, and she is a game-time player.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
To a lot of people who love Caitlin Clark.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
In a moment that no one saw coming, Wayne Gretzky, the most iconic figure in hockey history.
Wayne Gretzky, he's a legendary hockey player. He actually played here in St. Louis for our very own Blues. And yeah, man, he's like Michael Jordan of hockey.
Publicly praised Caitlin Clark in a way that left her critics speechless. Gretzky's words weren't just polite compliments. They were a full-throated endorsement of Clark's impact on the sports world. This wasn't about comparing stats or debating MVP candidates. This was about legacy.
Wayne Gretzky had to say about Caitlin Clark.
Wonderful. This is great. We get to watch. We have bleacher seats here, and we get to adore these athletes. Look at Caitlin Clark, how she's kept just taken over the country, and for that matter, maybe the world, and how she's encouraged so many young girls now to participate in sports, whether it's basketball or soccer or volleyball. My dad used to always say, the greatest thing about sports is that you learn so much about real life. You learn how to be unselfish. You learn how to be dedicated. You learn how to work hard. You learn how to win. And then you learn how to pick yourself up off the ground when you lose. And that's what life is all about. And so I just have so much respect for so many of these athletes that come along now. And as a fan, I just love it.
Gretzky made it clear. Caitlin Clark is that kind of generational talent. What makes his praise so powerful is the timing. Caitlin hasn't played the last couple of games due to injury. She's not on the court, and yet she's still the biggest name in the sport.
Caitlin Clark's injury is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
Without Caitlin Clark,
is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
She is the most well-known basketball player.
And Gretzky noticed. While speaking about athletes who elevate their entire leagues, he called out Clark's unique presence and the way she pulls people into the WNBA, just like he once did with hockey. Think about that. Wayne Gretzky, the man who made hockey mainstream in America, is now crediting Caitlin Clark for doing the same with women's basketball. This sent shockwaves through the sports community. On social media, fans lit up. Clips of Gretzky's comments went viral in minutes. Sports pages, YouTubers, and analysts started scrambling to cover the story. The message was loud and clear. When someone as universally respected as Wayne Gretzky stands behind you, the conversation shifts. Suddenly, it's not just fans defending Caitlin, it's the legends.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
This also wasn't some orchestrated PR move. Gretzky's words came off the cuff, unscripted and genuine. He didn't need to speak on Caitlin Clark. He wanted to. And that's what stings the haters the most. Because while some players and media figures continue trying to downplay her influence or question her toughness, the greatest of the greats are showing up to say she's the real deal.
What is it about Caitlin Clark? She's got it. She's got swagger. She's all-time great. And she makes logo threes. And she makes them beautifully to shoot the ball effortlessly from the logo on a jump shot. Go try it. Ain't easy. She can do that.
And it doesn't stop there. This moment with Gretzky isn't just a compliment. It's a warning shot to every critic who still doubts her. If the biggest name in hockey believes in Caitlin Clark, then you better believe she's here to stay, and she's only getting started. Even with Caitlin Clark sidelined due to injury, her presence continues to dominate the entire landscape of women's basketball, and that alone speaks volumes.
It's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship.
While other rookies might fade into the background when they're not playing, Caitlin becomes an even bigger story. She doesn't just play the game, she moves the game. And her influence off the court is now reaching heights few thought possible. Let's start with the numbers, because they don't lie. According to a university finance professor who studied the WNBA's economic activity, Caitlin Clark was responsible for an astounding 26.5% of the entire league's economic movement during her rookie year.
Looked up the value of Caitlin Clark for the WNBA. This is insane. Last season in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was 26.5% of all economic activity as a rookie.
Think about that. One player on the league's worst team was powering more than a quarter of its business activity. That's not just impressive, that's unprecedented. And it happened in her first season. And the financial ripple effect hasn't stopped. Before Clark's arrival, the Indiana Fever franchise was valued at $90 million. But after less than a full season with Caitlin on the roster, that number skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $340 million.
Before she got there, the Indiana Fever, the valuation of the franchise was $90 million. After playing, 40 games, the valuation of that team now is $340 million. He just was different than every other golfer you grew up with, and people like unique and different. She could be a billion-dollar athlete.
That's the kind of value bump usually reserved for NBA dynasties, not rebuilding WNBA squads. Yet Clark did it without an MVP title, without a playoff run, and now, even while sitting out games, she's still moving the needle. The team she plays for is now being discussed in the same breath as legacy NBA brands, not because of tradition, but because of her. And it's not just the economics, it's the energy. Cities are literally changing venues when Caitlin Clark comes to town. WNBA road games that were once played in small arenas are now being moved to NBA-level venues just to accommodate the demand. Ticket sales spike. Merchandise flies off the shelves. Local businesses report surges. Entire cities transform when Caitlin's on the schedule, even when she's not on the floor. That is impact. That is star power. Sports commentators have compared her effect to what Michael Jordan did in the 1980s. Others say it's like Tiger Woods entering golf or Steph Curry redefining the NBA's offensive strategy.
Caitlin Clark, she's a different type of player and she can do a lot of different types of things, but she's essentially bringing a Steph Curry-like basketball impact to the WNBA. If you can shoot the way that she shoots or the way Steph shoots.
But here's the wildest part. Caitlin hasn't even hit her peak yet. She hasn't had a deep playoff run. She hasn't held a championship trophy. She's still learning the pace and physicality of the WNBA. And yet, she's already being called the most important player the league has ever seen. Even her mere presence on television changes things. WNBA games featuring Clark regularly shatter viewership records.
Caitlin Clark getting way too much attention and way too much credit for the exploding TV ratings.
Her matchup against Angel Reese in the season opener pulled the highest ratings in WNBA history. And again, she's not even in her prime. She's barely started. So while the haters sit back and question her toughness or try to reduce her to hype, reality tells a different story. The truth is, Caitlin Clark is a walking economic engine, a cultural phenomenon, and a marketing goldmine. When she's in the game, she's a superstar. But when she's out of the game and still the biggest story, that's when you realize this isn't just a player. This is a movement, and movements don't stop when the game clock hits 0.
Never watched the WNBA until Caitlin.
Guys, Caitlin's cooking. I'm talking about Martha Stewart, Gordon Ramsay cooking. She is cooking everybody in the WNBA right now. If you don't know Caitlin, here's a little backstory on her. She went to Iowa. She graduated from Iowa. She has the most points scored for a women's college basketball player ever. Not to mention, she has the most points scored out of any man ever in college basketball history. In her second year, she's already broken the record for most 25-point 10 assist games. In her second year, she holds that record. But what's being done to her right now is an absolute shame. She is by far the most important, most popular person the WNBA has ever seen in its history. And yet she's getting treated like crap every time she steps on that floor.
Yep.
Why? There's only one reason. It's because of the color of her skin.
Caitlin Clark's dominance on the court is undeniable. Her economic impact is measurable. Her popularity is unmatched. And yet, despite all of this, or maybe because of it, she remains the most targeted athlete in the WNBA. Haters from all directions have tried to tear her down. But here's the twist. The more they attack her, the more powerful she becomes. And right now, those haters are losing. Badly. Let's start with what's happening on the court. Caitlin Clark is being physically challenged in ways that go far beyond normal competition. From elbows to the face, body slams on drives, intentional shoves, and constant contact, she's absorbing a level of physical abuse that's flat out excessive. In a recent game, she was fouled hard with no call, hacked across the wrist as she went up for a game-tying shot. And again, no whistle. Fans and analysts were stunned, not because it was close, but because it was obvious. She didn't just get fouled, she got mugged. And yet the referees swallowed their whistles. Why? Why does the league's biggest star, the player driving ratings, revenue, and fan interest, get less protection than any other?
She, and she alone, is driving the ratings way, way above what all of you together were able to generate before she first set foot on a WNBA stage.
The uncomfortable truth is starting to surface. Behind the scenes, resentment is boiling over from veteran players and coaches who believe Clark is getting too much attention. According to multiple analysts, many WNBA stars are privately complaining to team executives and league officials that Caitlin Clark is being overhyped and overpromoted. They're not talking about basketball. They're talking about fame.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from 3. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from 3-point range.
About credit, about jealousy. But here's the reality those veterans can't face. Caitlin earned every bit of it. She didn't ask for attention. She created it. Her talent demanded it. Her play forced the world to look. And it's not just fans. It's sports legends, corporate sponsors, and yes, even Wayne Gretzky now recognizing it. But instead of embracing the moment, many WNBA insiders have chosen to resist it. They've launched a culture of subtle sabotage, from dirty fouls to media jabs to behind-the-scenes complaints, all in hopes of dimming Clark's spotlight. But it's not working. In fact, the backlash has only made her bigger. And then there's the off-court attacks. When Clark was recently photographed walking into the arena while holding the assistant coach's biracial baby,
He's like, what? The baby?
something as wholesome and normal as it gets, her critics exploded with some of the ugliest, most vile comments ever seen. Social media lit up with racist, hateful accusations. People claimed she was using the baby as a prop. Some questioned why she was holding a black baby at all. It wasn't just ignorance, it was pure hatred.
This is little baby Zane, son of Fever assistant coaches Austin Kelly and Karama Christmas Kelly.
And yet again, Caitlin said nothing. She kept walking. She kept showing up. She kept her dignity. Meanwhile, where was the WNBA? The league that claims to have no space for hate stayed silent. No official statement, no league-wide condemnation, no protection for the face of their brand. And that silence spoke volumes, because it's clear that the league too is afraid of how deeply some veterans resent her, afraid of a possible revolt, afraid to do what's right in fear of backlash from within. But here's the irony. They're biting the hand that feeds them. Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. She's the solution. She's the one drawing fans to the sport.
She has a legitimate argument that she's a top 5 player in the league, and before this injury, probably was going to make a real case to win league MVP this year.
The jerseys, the number 22, the various styles, whether it's a T-shirt with 22, whether it's an Iowa jersey, whether it's a Fever jersey, a throwback, I mean, whatever. The amount of people in yellow 22 apparel is stunning.
Fans who never watched a WNBA game before. She's the one bringing corporate sponsors like State Farm, Nike, and Gatorade to the table. She's the reason media outlets are giving the WNBA airtime they never had. And yet she's being treated like an outsider, like she didn't earn her seat at the table.
Everyone knows Caitlin Clark has been talking about black women because she's white. That is definitely the truth. This would say if black women let their bitterness and anger towards Caitlin Clark for no reason go the discourse, this league will improve by 90%.
But if we're being honest, she built the table. And while all this is happening, while she's taking hits from opponents, ignoring racist trolls, and staying composed through media storms, her haters keep revealing their true colors. They get more desperate, more loud, more unhinged. Because deep down, they know what's coming. Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. She's already first team All-WNBA. She's already being whispered in MVP conversations. She's already being mentioned in the same breath as Steph Curry and Michael Jordan. And she's only just getting started. That's why they're panicking. The old guard sees the new era rising, and it's wearing number 22. They've tried physicality. They've tried smear campaigns. They've tried ignoring her.
The best way you can market the other WNBA players is to have them play against Caitlin Clark.
But nothing has worked, because Caitlin Clark isn't powered by media hype. She's powered by raw, undeniable greatness. And every hit she takes, literally and figuratively, only adds to her legend. So to the haters still hoping to bring her down, let us make this clear. You've already lost. Because when Wayne Gretzky steps up and says she's special, the debate is over. When fans keep tuning in, injured or not, the numbers speak louder than the noise. And when Caitlin keeps showing up with class, courage, and skill, the future becomes crystal clear.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. I'm so happy. I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
So let's get this straight. Caitlin Clark is dominating the game, breaking records, transforming the business of basketball, and earning respect from legends like Wayne Gretzky. That's not hype. That's history in the making. The hate she faces, it's loud, it's ugly, but it's also losing, because every time she takes the court, every time she handles criticism with class, and every time someone like Gretzky steps up to praise her, it becomes even clearer. Caitlin Clark isn't just the future of the WNBA. She is the WNBA's moment right now. She's building a legacy in real time, one that no jealousy, no foul, and no smear campaign can stop. When the greatest in hockey calls you out for greatness, you've crossed into a new level of impact. And this is just the beginning.
far better of a basketball player and has made such a tremendous impact in a greater number. Everybody knows that. Her college career was better. The stadium sales, the NFL, the WNBA popularity has gone up because Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
If you stand with Caitlin Clark, if you believe in what she represents, if you see how far she's already come, then show your love and drop CC 100% in the comments. Let's drown out the noise with support. Let's amplify greatness. Because the haters, they're watching too.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
And they just got stunned by Wayne Gretzky, by the fans, and most of all, by Caitlin Clark herself. This is big, this is real, and this is only the start.